Good evening. Welcome to Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors business meeting, Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. It is now 7:25. Let me apologize. The board was in closed session. We ran a little long. So I want to thank the public for their patience and also you all that came out tonight. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bowman?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Dalton?
Here.
Mr. Dudley?
Present.
Mr. Whittle?
Here.
Mr. Ingram?
Here.
Mr. Tucker?
Here. Thank you. Would you join me now in a moment of silence? Thank you. If you're physically able, would you stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving to agenda item 5. Any items to be added to the agenda?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I have several here to do.
Okay.
I have a motion to revise the agenda as follows. One is add a resolution to case number 2026-03-04, collective bargaining to new business as item 12B. The second was going to be move item 7I to unfinished business as item 11A. Third one is add authorization to advertise for potential revisions to PCC Chapter 18 to the consent agenda as item 7J.
All right. Madam Clerk, did you get those down to keep us straight?
Yes, sir.
All right. Read those back to me, Madam Clerk, in that motion, then I'll ask for a second of support.
All right, so we're going to add the resolution 2026-03-04, collective bargaining to new business as item 12B. We're going to move item 7I to unfinished business as 11A, and we're going to add authorization to advertise for potential revisions to PCC Chapter 18 to the consent agenda as item 7J.
You all over it. All right. Can I get a second of support for that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Any discussion? Hearing none, cast your votes electronically, please. All right, the motion passes unanimously. That moves us down to agenda item number 6. I'll ask for or entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Any discussion on the motion? If not, cast your votes electronically. Motion passes unanimously. That moves us down to agenda item 7, our consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda with the changes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the changes.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton.
Second.
Support. Thank you, Mr. Whittle. All right, moving in second that we will proceed with this consent agenda with the changes. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, cast your votes electronically, please. All right, motion passes unanimously. Presentations. This takes us down to agenda item number 8. Any presentations?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ingram has
All
one.
right, if you'll set us up. Gentlemen, follow us down to the main floor.
If Sergeant Chad Icoast and Investigator Janet Sargent and Investigator Monica Gibson, if you would please come forward. While they're coming up, last month we honored a trooper with the North Carolina State Highway Patrol who worked with our Sheriff's Office in the saving of a life. And it was worth recognizing these guys for doing such a good job and in essence for saving this lady's life. So due to work schedules, they were not able to be here. So we had the trooper come last month, and we have our folks here this month. I'm going to read the coverall commendation, and I understand Sheriff Taylor gave you each one your own, correct? If not, we'll cut you another one. But on January 24th, 25th, 2026, members of the Pittsylvania County Sheriff's Office responded to a missing person report involving an elderly resident who required daily medication. Through coordinated investigative efforts, deputies worked with regional partners to obtain critical information that led to the discovery of the missing woman after her vehicle had slid off an icy roadway during severe winter weather. And by the way, she was 81 years old. Working alongside with the North Carolina Highway Patrol, Caswell County Emergency Communications, and OnStar personnel, responding officers helped ensure the woman's safe recovery and return her to her family. This successful outcome was made possible through perseverance, professionalism, and strong interagency cooperation. These actions of the actions of these members exemplify exceptional commitment to public safety, effective interagency collaboration, and the high standards of law enforcement service. Their efforts reflect great credit upon themselves, the Pittsylvania County Sheriff's Office, and the community they serve. And if you would, please give a round of applause to Sergeant Icoast, Investigator Janet Sargent, Investigator Monica Gibson. And of course, this was given this day by our chairman, Robert M. Tucker, as well as myself. And so if any of you would like to step up and have something to say, we would surely entertain that. But, you know, when things go wrong, you hear about it. When things go right, you don't hear about it. But we as a board just wanted to highlight your good work and to thank you for participating in saving this lady's life. And their family is extremely grateful. And I found out much more about her other than her age, which I probably shouldn't have mentioned, but she's battling with cancer. So had it not been for that, she would be here with us. But thank you so much. And so if y'all would close in, we're going to get a picture and let you go home. Okay.
Takes us down to agenda item number 9, which is hearing of the citizens. Each person addressing the board under hearing of the citizens shall be a resident or landowner of the county or the registered agent of such resident or landowner. Each person shall step up, give his or her name and district in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the chairman, shall limit his or her address to 3 minutes. No person shall be permitted to address the board more than once during the hearing of the citizens. All remarks shall be addressed to the board as a body and not to any individual member thereof. Hearing of the citizens shall last for a maximum of 45 minutes. Any individual that is signed up to speak during said section who does not get the opportunity to do so because of the aforementioned time limit shall be given speaking priority at the next board meeting. Absent chairman's approval, no person shall be able to speak who has not signed up to speak. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, sir.
Who's our first
Tracy
speaker?
Love.
Ms. Love, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. When I was in college, I had the privilege to work in the newspaper and education department at Lancaster Newspapers in Pennsylvania with Dr. Sherry Garrett, who wrote the curriculum each year for the Newspaper and Education Week. And I know newspapers aren't a thing really anymore, especially daily newspapers. And it's kind of a shame, but we did one curriculum package that was Messages and Meaning, which talked about all different types of media, whether it be television media, print media, magazines, newspapers, art. How children should look at that media and interpret it for finding the truth. I think we should really be able to revisit that these days, especially now that we have all of our news sources that seems coming from the internet. And when this was written, I looked it up, and the main internet providers, there were 3 at that time. And we had Prodigy, CompuServe, and AOL. And at that time, AOL had less than 1 million people subscribing. And at that time, we used the internet for reference material and searching databases, electronic bulletin boards, chat rooms, and email. Remember the ding, you've got mail? It's changed a lot since then. Now we have Facebook, Gossip Central, and we need to go back to sorting out the messages behind the different media sources to get to the true meanings and to separate the facts from opinion and facts
30
from
seconds
fiction.
remaining.
I'm really excited that the Board of Supervisors is doing the State of the County address. I think that is wonderful. We need to have more face-to-face interaction between our local government and people, because the best form of getting the facts is, shall we say, straight from the horse's mouth. And I
3
would love
minutes
to
is
see
complete.
more opportunities to directly connect with our Board of Supervisors, and would love to see town hall meetings where we can actually interact and have some give and take and discussions with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's our next speaker?
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
That's it? All right. Thank you so much. This moves us down to agenda item number 10A, which is rezoning public hearings pursuant to Article 5, Division 6 of the Pennsylvania County Zoning Ordinance. The Board of Supervisors has been empowered to hear and decide specific zoning issues and zoning map changes in support of said ordinance. In accomplishing this important task, the board is responsible for promoting the health, safety, and general public welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania County. The board must ensure that all of its decisions and regulations be directed to these goals and that each be consistent with the environment, comprehensive plan, and in the best interest of Pennsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. Public hearing case R-26-002. Mr. Womack, Mr. Arnold, please.
Case R-26-002, Charles Womack has petitioned to rezone 2.02 acres located on State Road 706, also known as Abbott Place in the Bannister Election District, from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for a dog kennel, which would also be contingent upon the approval of a special use permit. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The Planning Commission recommended the petition be granted on January 6, 2026. Last month at the Board of Supervisors meeting, the board continued this rezoning case until tonight to allow the petitioner, Mr. Womack, to do further research and provide more information related to the proposed use. Mr. Womack, Mr. Chairman, excuse me, we do have Mr. Womack here present tonight to represent the petition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. It is 7:42, and I'll open the public hearing in case R-26-002. Mr. Womack, anything to add? Come on up to the podium, sir. Yes, sir.
I did more research, like I was asked to do, and researched how I'm gonna keep it clean and how I'm gonna reduce the noise, the smell, the odor, and everything. I'm using different chemicals and stuff, and everything that shows you in the package. That's what I'll be doing.
Okay. Quick question. Did you meet with or have a discussion with any of your neighbors?
I talked to a couple of them, and I explained what I was doing. They seemed okay with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Is anyone signed up to speak, Ms. McCluster?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Larry Ford.
Last name is
Ford.
Ford. Mr. Ford. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Larry Ford, the Bannister District. Petition against dog kennels, neighbors against a dog kennel, requested by Charles L. Womack. We, the undersigned, are against a dog kennel for Charles L. Womack, Larry T. Ford, Margaret Ford, Alan Henderson, Nanine Henderson, James Childress, Velma Fitzgerald, Gladys Oliver, Jimmy Boxdale, Deborah Boxdale, Honorable Jesse Boxdale, Iona Sparks, Rosa Emmons, Thomas Ellett, Tiffany Wagner, Joseph Wagner, K.G. Jones, Margaret Brandon, George Brandon, Ella Whittier, Jacqueline Coleman, Vicky Dillard. We, the neighbors that have signed the petition against a commercial dog kennel in our residential neighborhood, are still firmly against it. A residential neighborhood is not the place to breed dogs for sale. The waste product of dogs, feces, dog's urine, dog barking from a commercial dog breeding enterprise is not compatible to a residential neighborhood. The residents in the neighborhood would be subject to a hellish noise and smell problem. Our neighbors did not purchase their homes many years ago to live where they will be subject to a constant hellish noise and smell problem from a commercial enterprise doing business in a quiet residential neighborhood. People that have worked hard to buy their American dream, a home would not build or purchase a home next to a commercial pig pen nor a commercial dog breeding business. On behalf of the neighbors on this road, Abbott Place, I declare we should be able to live like any other residential neighborhood, free from a commercial dog breeding business with the hellish smell of dog feces, dog urine, and the hellish constant dog barking. I truly believe This
30
is a
seconds
reasonable
remaining.
request from the many residents that have signed this petition. I would now like to read a letter from our Honorable Jesse Boxdale. He lives on this road. He says in this letter, he sent this letter certified to
Sir.
the chairman.
Can you
to-
make it brief? Just, can you make it brief? You're out of
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I can
Thank
make
you.
it brief. A dog kennel has no place in a residential neighborhood where there is
3 minutes is complete.
a board. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Madam Clerk, who's our next speaker?
Tracy Love.
Ms. Love.
Yes, I'm back. Tracy Love from the Stanton River District. I know I'm not in this area where the dog kennel is, but I've looked at the revised plans and the petition letter from Mr. Charles Womack and have some serious concerns about his plan, and I speak for the potential puppies. German Shepherds are large, intelligent dogs. I agree that they lend themselves to search and rescue work when bred, raised, trained correctly and ethically. I was blessed to know a very talented search and rescue dog that worked in Alaska. I have over 20 years in dog sports, competed from Alaska to Florida and everywhere in between. I attend and judge world final dog events. I know many ethical breeders from many different disciplines. This setup would not be considered as a reasonable situation for breeding dogs. It is below the bare minimum to raise healthy puppies with a sound temperament. The minimum size of a whelping box for a large breed dog is 48 by 48 with pig rails to protect the newborn puppies from being smothered by the bitch while they're nursing. The kennel does not provide enough room for the whelping box and the bitch to be sheltered from the elements. A bitch typically goes into season twice a year starting at 6 months. Ethical breeders will only breed their bitch 3 to 4 times, and only after she is at least 2 years of age. This kennel does not provide a way to prevent accidental breeding. If accidental breeding and overbreeding is not a concern, then this is actually a puppy mill. The building isn't insulated or temperature controlled as stated in the letter that he submitted. There are no details about how this important component would be accomplished. The material that the kennel is made of that he had listed there, the LP Smart Side Lap siding and trim does not claim any properties of soundproofing on their website. A handwritten note on the bottom of the page does not magically create a soundproof product. To use the Blockline absorb panels that he had shared to soundproof the kennel building, it would cost approximately $4,250 for the panels, which would not soundproof the areas of the kennel box where the wild panels are anyway. To purchase
30
enough
seconds remaining.
of the Blockline absorb panels to line the entire chain fence like he claims, it would cost over $34,500 in the panels alone. And on their website, it recommends that it's on wood panels, not chain link.
Got to wrap up.
On the summary document, under financial and funding, I don't see how he can fund this. He doesn't have anything about
3 minutes
funding.
is complete.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, who's our next speaker?
That's all, Mr. Chair.
That's it? All right. At 7:50, I close public hearing. Let me say this. It's always tough to play Solomon and split the baby. Let me say to you, Mr. Womack, we ask you to provide us with more in-depth information and with the plan. And you gave us a plan, but I just don't see where it is sufficient nor sustainable. And to the opposition, I'm all about landowners' rights, I will tell you that. Okay, I believe that people, when they purchase their property, you know, everybody has the American dream. They have to do what they as long as it's within the framework of the actual zoning and the code and that sort of thing, you have a recommendation to approve. But there's some gray area there, Mr. Womack, and I am going to lean toward the opposition because of the gray area, because your plan is not substantial nor sustainable. So I'm going to make my own motion. I'm not going to ask any of the board to carry my water, and I'm going to ask the board to support this motion because it's in my district. I'm going to make a motion to deny this this petition.
I'm going to second it.
Any discussion? Yes, sir.
Is it where we need to put the R-26 for the record? Do we have to do that?
I think it's clear based on the matters
sir.
before that I
Yes,
think it's
sir.
clear that's what we're
That's
dealing
fine.
with.
Okay.
I
Thank you,
think,
Mr. Chairman.
I think that motion will suffice. Mr. Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I didn't get your name, sir. The second speaker that came with a petition,
It's Mr. Ford.
Mr. Ford, where are you located? There you are. How many people signed that petition? Okay, thank you.
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion? Any discussion? All right, gentlemen, cast your votes electronically. Motion passes 6-1, so that motion does pass. Mr. Womack, what I can say to you to give you some encouragement is, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I tapped the wrong one. It should be a yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, we'll count that as unanimous vote. Can you correct that, Madam Clerk? What I can do to encourage you, that does not prevent you from coming back, but if you need help in writing a plan, and one that's viable and one that is sustainable, then we will certainly, it doesn't stop you from coming back asking for permit. But based on what we have in front of us, we have to deny it at this juncture. All right? Moving on, case R-26-009, in the case of Robert Guthrie. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-009, Robert Guthrie Jr. has petitioned to rezone 32.64 acres located on State Road 900, Glenland Road in the Stanton River Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to be used for a manufactured home. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. And on February the 3rd, 2026, the Planning Commission recommended by a 6-0 vote with no opposition that the petitioner's request be granted. The staff summary and the Planning Commission's recommendation are enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Guthrie is here to represent the petition tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. It is now 7:55. We open the public hearing for case R-26-009. Mr. Guthrie, anything to add? Thank you, sir. Anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir.
All right. It is 7:55. We close the public hearing. Mr. Dudley.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. In case R-26-009, I make a motion to approve the rezoning of 32.64 acres from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for the property to have a manufactured home. That is my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Support.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. All right, any discussion? Gentlemen, cast your votes electronically. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. In case R-26-010, Herbert Jesse Yates. Mr. Arnold, please.
Case R-26-010, Herbert Jesse Yates has petitioned to rezone 15.48 acres located on State Road 930, Sycamore Road, in the Stanton River Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to have a second single-family dwelling on it. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. And on February the 3rd, 2026, the Planning Commission recommended by a 6-0 vote with no opposition that the petitioner's request be granted. The staff summary and the Planning Commission's recommendation are enclosed in the board packet. And Mr. Chairman, Mr. Yates unfortunately is not able to be here tonight. However, Mr. Yates' daughter, Phyllis Mayhew, is here to represent this petition, should you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is 7:57, and we open the public hearing on case R-26-010. You said, Ms. Mayhew, where are you located? Thank you. Anything to add, ma'am? Nothing to add. Ms. McCluster, anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir.
All right, it is 7:57 still. We'll close public hearing. Mr. Dudley.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Glad to see Coleman and his wife here this evening. Coleman does serve on the Fire and Rescue Commission, so thank you so much for your service. So in case R-26-010, make a motion to approve the rezoning of 15.48 acres from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to have a second single-family dwelling. Mr. Chairman, that is my motion.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Thank you for the support. Who was that? Mr. Dalton? No, Mr. Bowman, thank you. All right, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, cast your votes electronically. All right, motion passes unanimously. This moves us down to agenda item 11, and we have something on 11A, which is going to be moved from consent. Is that 7I that was moved?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to keep up here. 7I, would you read that for us, Madam Clerk?
I apologize. Do you want the title of what we're looking at, or
The actual item that was moved from consent.
that was the transfer of funds to establish budget line item for Pittsylvania County's 250th Independence Day Festival?
Thank you so much. All right, discussion, gentlemen. Yes, sir, Mr. Whittle.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to kind of see where we are with this, how much we've already collected coming in, to see what I might be able to live with to approve, help y'all with.
All right, before I have Mr. Shorter or Ms. Van der Heide, I think, well, I think it's probably more palatable, but let me say this not only to this board, but let me say it to the public that's here. And let me say it to those that are listening. We are a nation at war right now. And what we plan on doing on the 4th of July is we're going to celebrate our independence. Now, there is nothing more patriotic that we can do than to basically celebrate our freedom and the freedom that we enjoy. And right now we have our troops in the Middle East, and they are following the lead of our Defense Department, our Commander-in-Chief. There are troops that gave the ultimate sacrifice right here in Pittsylvania County. You have people in Pittsylvania County that served in World War I, World War II, the Korean conflict, the Vietnam War. You had people who served in Vietnam. You had them to serve in the Middle East, in Iraq, on down to Grenada, and so on and so forth. Me personally, I was in the military. I came from a military background. My dad, along with 4 of his brothers, were in World War II at the exact same time. Thank God they all came home. My other side, there were 2 that were in World War II. They came home. I lost a cousin in the Vietnam War, had 2 others to serve. And what I'm proposing, and I don't think it's unreasonable, this steering committee has gone out, knocked on doors. I've met with leaders in the community, and the community is committed, Mr. Whittle, and to the remainder of the board. I think we're closing in on $50,000. Ms. Vanderheit, you all correct me if I'm wrong. We set a goal of about $65,000, and all of the funds have not come in. We committed to this board that we would only appropriate $125,000, and what money we did not use, we would turn it back over to the actual general fund. So we're not proposing to use all of the money, but I want to be able to give the children of the community a hot dog. With where inflation is right now, and whether we want to admit it or not, and I don't intend to make a political speech here, but we're in the middle of a jobs recession. Gas prices are going to be approaching about that time of the year, mayhaps $5 a gallon if they keep the Straits of Hormuz closed. So there are going to be children in this community that will not be able to have any type of vacation, any type of social outlet unless we provide it for them. And I think if we shy away from appropriating this money, which I'm not trying to be free and easy with the taxpayers' money, but one thing our children will either learn the definition of independence and freedom, and hot dogs, baseball, and apple pie, or 20 years down the road, if we don't do a little bit better, they can learn the word solidarity when they have to stand against fascism and all these other things that are creep in because we have not really held these days sacred in terms of remembering them and celebrating them. And that's where I am. So to answer your question, we have raised $50,000 with more commitments that have not come in yet.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry I took the
Appreciate your service, man.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry I took the long way around, Mr. Whittle. Any other discussion?
When we went down this path before, and I know we've kicked the ball an extra month on it, the way I'm understanding it is the goal is almost met. How much, I'm assuming Mr. Short or somebody's fixing to tell us exactly what all has been allocated or what part of the ceremonies that will go on that day have already been sealed, I guess I should say. How much have we spent? And then secondly with that would be, are we capping this at 125, which is kind of where I'm at? And then, however much we raise, if we raise 70,000, then that's just that much more that don't come out of the taxpayer dollar. I don't want us to raise 75 and then just say, well, that's a tip. We'll just slap that on top of the 125.
That's not what we proposed from the outset.
Okay.
What we proposed from the outset was the fact that we wanted to set aside $125,000. We committed, and I even asked the Board of Supervisors from this dais to help me and help the steering committee and be forward-facing to the community and meet with people in the communities and help fundraise. I have met with leaders. I've met with the president of Hargrave Military. I've met with Caesars. I've met with these general managers here, and this is how you fundraise. You can't do it just by mailing them a piece of paper. You have to be able to get there, shake hands, see the whites in their eyes, and ask for the money. So our proposal from the outset was to set aside $125,000. And I think the steering committee, we capped it between 125 and 140. Is that right, Mr. Shorter? Yes, sir. So that whatever money we raise, we offset that. And anything we don't need of the 125,000, we committed to turning it back into the general fund. The money that we're going to be using, we are, in terms of setting that money aside, being on the finance committee, so that the public understands we have been very creative in terms of how we are doing it. We have some money in a contingency fund that we can do this with. We had money to come in from the solar farms, okay? And we're going to use some of that money, right at $1 million as a pass-through, put it into the contingency fund, take it out what we need for this event. So it does not burden the taxpayers. So we've already kind of covered those bases. But I'm just asking this board to be as patriotic as I am. And then, you know, let's be realistic. We should be the ones leading the charge, man. You know, and I hate to do this because I'm not all about embarrassing people, because I thought about maybe proposing that each supervisor allocate $500 out of your own pocket. Oh, excuse me.
Fine by me. And,
I get it.
and forgive me, I wasn't invited on the steering committee. When I seen it the first time, it was on a packet. And that's why I've got some questions. And we're in a tax crisis. We know that going into the spring of the year here. And I think it's going to help the public being more transparent in how this thing was developed and where it's going and how we're going to allocate the money for it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bowman, did you have anything?
Well, I'm not sure. Mr. Chairman, I was going to hold this till my comments, but that certainly can read what I've got here that I'd like to propose. So, and what you just mentioned there is exactly what I was thinking about. So let me read what I've got here and take it for what it's worth. As our nation approaches the commemoration of the 250th birthday, I respectfully call upon my fellow elected officials in Pittsylvania County to join me in recognizing this historic milestone in a meaningful way. I am proposing that each of us contribute $250 in support of local efforts to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. This collective commitment will help fund programs, events, and educational initiatives that honor our nation's founding and strengthen civic pride across our communities. By participating, we not only commemorate our shared history, but also demonstrate leadership, a continued investment in the values that define our county and our country. I also welcome others to join in this effort as we work toward making the celebration memorable for the citizens of Pittsylvania County. And that would be a challenge I have to everybody on this dais. Mr. Fitzgerald, I see you can take that message back to the school board and all of our constitutional officers. It's not a lot of money, but it's something I feel that we need to buy into as leaders of this county, and I'm willing to put that $250 out there today to Mr. Shorter. That's all I've got on that, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, am a proud veteran, and likewise, my family goes way, way back to not only the Civil War, but the First World War. And my daddy was a World War II veteran, one of the first to volunteer in 1941. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I think we would really miss the mark if we did not do something within reason on a grand scale. And, you know, realizing that with enough donations and it offsets the budget in essence, it would be paid for by donors. And so even if it wasn't, you would only be talking about $2.97 per citizen to provide something for their fellow man and the children to really enjoy this 4th of July. So I'm very confident there'll be enough donations to offset that. And I think it's, like I said, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm going to support that.
Any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion to pass the matter.
I make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Any further discussion? Gentlemen, vote electronically. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. And everyone forgive me, but I get a little passionate about our country and our patriotism. When you raise your right hand to protect and defend it, you never stop defending your nation. Okay? So thank you all so much. And gentlemen, thank you all so much on the dais. All right, let's see. We got to go to agenda item 12, is that right? Firefly?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Evans. Welcome, sir, and thank you for keeping me out of trouble.
Thank you for having me. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to speak to the board just briefly on this matter. This is a matter that's been addressed as part of our meeting last month, and there's been some additional information we wanted to make sure was clear to the board before the board took action. The developer for the solar project, Firefly Energy Solar Project, was requesting a 1-year extension to the special use permit issued by the Board of Zoning Appeals for a utility scale solar facility located in the Dan River District. This board has previously granted an extension to the SUP in 2025 that extension expires July 1st of 2026. In 2021, the board entered into a siting agreement with Firefly Energy relating to this project. The siting agreement in place for the solar project provides for direct financial benefit to the county and resulting for the county residents. Historically, the board has treated these projects with favorable siting agreements with preference and granted similar extensions on multiple occasions at this stage. However, as part of the expected special use permit extension on this project, the Firefly Energy has agreed to waive certain of its rights under the current siting agreement. The first of which was addressed by the project developers at the board's work session in February. Firefly Energy has agreed that the 1-year extension they are requesting will be their last extension, that no additional request for extension for the solar special use permit will be made or granted by the board. The other rights that are potentially being waived by the developer relate to the payments anticipated under the siting agreement mentioned previously. The siting agreement requires direct capital payments to the county at several benchmarks. First, at the issuance of the building permit, there is a payment of $562,000. Second, at the commencement of construction, there's an additional payment of $562,000. And then at the beginning of the commercial electric production, there is an additional payment of approximately $1.12 million. Following that, there are additional annual payments that are then made over the next 35 years. Those annual payments total to just under $10 million. Under the siting agreement, that first building permit payment and the second construction capital payment are to be held in escrow, not to be released until commercial operations begin. If for any reason the project does not reach commercial operation, those payments held in escrow under the current siting agreement are to be divided between the county and the developer, with 85% of those funds being returned to the developer. The county's long-term interests are best served in two ways. First, increased direct financial benefit for the county. And second, increase protection against any adverse action by the developer. In this instance, the developer has agreed to waive certain of its rights that it has under the siting agreement as it relates to some of the direct capital payments in several ways. Instead of waiting until the building permit is issued, a portion of that initial capital payment, approximately $70,000, will be paid at the approval of the terms to extend the SUP. Those funds will be non-refundable, meaning that even if the project does not go forward for some reason, those funds remain with the county. The advancement of that payment is contingent on the granting of the SUP extension and anticipates the approval by the board of 2 utility easements needed for the project to cross the rail trail. The granting of those easements would normally be done without any issue for projects like this if they've moved to that stage. Now, functionally, based on the proposed action before the board today in its resolution, a second advance payment of an additional $70,000 portion of the building permit capital payment referenced in the siting agreement would be made upon the approval of certain construction special use permits for a number of parcels that are not part of the solar project itself but are required to access the parcels on which the project is located. That approval would need to be done by the Board of Zoning Appeals, so the board is not involved with that action. No action would be needed to be taken by the board directly. That second advance payment, however, would also be non-refundable, no matter what happens with the project moving forward. So those 2 advance payments represent $140,625 of the initial $562,500 building permit capital payment. The remainder of that payment will be paid at the issuance of the building permit. The last waiver of rights to which the developers agreed or potentially agreed relates to the percentage of distribution of escrow funds to the county if the project does not reach commercial operation. As mentioned previously, the current percentage that would be distributed to the county from those escrow funds if the project does not proceed would be 15%, with 85% being returned to the developer. The developers agreed to have the first $140,625 of those funds, which are to be accelerated, as already mentioned, to be non-refundable, meaning 100% go to the county if the project did not proceed for some reason. If the project did not proceed, the remaining balance of any funds to be paid into escrow from the building permit capital payment and the construction capital payment benchmarks would then be distributed 50% to the county and 50% returned to the developer. I should mention, the developer fully intends to move forward with the project, and the total value of the payments under the current siting agreement as it stands would be just over $12.2 million if the project is completed and if the annual payments throughout the life of the project are paid. But if for some reason the project is abandoned after construction and prior to the commercial operation, this waiver of rights that's before the board today would increase the value paid to the county of just over $464,000, with some of that being paid immediately. Considering that fact, and considering the board's actions on similar projects in the recent past, it is the recommendation of county staff that the board pass the proposed resolution today to approve the SUP extension for 1 year and the addendum to the siting agreement allowing the developer to waive its rights as discussed, approving the county moving forward with granting 2 utility easements as also discussed. Now, there's a lot of moving pieces there. Hopefully I've been somewhat clear as it relates to how it operates. I can answer any questions the board may have about these terms. We also have representatives from the project that are here to answer questions if the board has questions for them directly.
Quick question, do we need to open a public hearing case?
No.
Okay.
There's no need for a public hearing.
Okay. All right, any questions for Mr. Evans? Yes, sir.
Mr. Tucker, I do. Matt, you're going to have to go back. I can't find it on the read ahead here, but you mentioned $10 million.
Yes.
In that, go back over that number again with me there. Is it for a year? Is it for the life of the agreement?
Yeah, so the original siting agreement has a schedule for annual payments that the payments begin about just under $500,000 a year and then taper off over the course of 35 years. So it's a 35-year schedule, and the total payments over the course of the 35 years is approximately $9.9 million.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion, questions for Mr. Evans? Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone here to represent Firefly? Anything to add? Nothing? All right, gentlemen. Mr. Brown, as I see it, we ask Firefly to go and sharpen their pencil and come back and tell us what's in it for us, and they've made a good offer, so.
They did. They made a lot of ground up. This is probably, it's in my time in politics on the planning commission. This is a unique solar farm in the way that we have developed a way to negotiate in this way. I want to commend Dave Arnold and Matt Evans. They've done a rock star job working with Firefly and negotiating a deal that I feel that puts us as in the county at a much better stakeholder. So with that being said, I'm gonna make a recommendation tonight to adopt a resolution number 2026-03-01, extending the special use permit to July 1st, 2027, and approving and authorizing the execution of the addendum to siting agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
That's my
Is there
motion.
support for that motion?
I'll second it.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I don't know who beat who, but
Mr. Ingram.
It doesn't
Mr. Ingram, thank you. We'll let you second that. All right, any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if you'll allow me, I am not a big supporter of extensions on solar farms. I think I've shared that before. I'm not in agreement with this, even though my partner here, he's supporting it. I look at this, it's over 35 years. Who knows what's going to happen in 35 years? And I'm just, the way it is, I'm not going to support this, so thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Mr. Ingram.
there was a similar project in my district that we graciously approved an extension, and I think that we need to be fair and consistent. And so that's why I had no problem with extending this. But I do remember a certain board member of long ago talked about solar revenue could build that jail. I'm still waiting for that day to come. So any kind of revenue that we can get to help in any capacity, I'm for it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any other discussion? If not, cast your votes electronically. All right, motion passes 6-1. Thank you so much, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here this evening. All right, let's see. Item 12B, which is 7J. Madam Clerk, read that for me.
That is going to be resolution number 2026-03-04, collective bargaining.
All right. I'm sure that the board has had an opportunity to read through that. We have? Okay. That being the case, I'll entertain a motion that we pass that resolution.
Second.
All right, who made that? Mr. Whittle? Thank you, sir.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Any discussion? No discussion, hearing none. Cast your votes electronically. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, that moves us down to any matters from the work session. Mr. Evans?
No, sir.
Thank you. All right, board reports. Mr. Dudley?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. I've got several that I need to make. Condolences to several families. The family of Todd Hedgepath. They do live in the Stanton River District. Todd was 61. He just passed away a couple days ago with cancer. Also to the family of Mike Smith, who passed away last month. Pray for his brother Paul Smith, and especially for Miss Jeannie Smith. She's going through a rough time of it right now. She actually found her son in the bathroom, and he had passed away. And also to the family of Marilyn Atkins Cook. All of these folks were Pittsylvania County residents, and we just need to lift them up in prayer. Also, Mr. Chairman, I'd like for us to, and I ask the entire county, pray for the troops that we have that's in harm's way. Pray for the president and his cabinet as well. They all need to be lifted up in prayer. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bowman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I only have a few items here and defer my time back to Mr. Whittle. Attended the Chamber annual meeting recently. Heard speakers from Pittsylvania County's own Ben Davenport and Tim Clark regarding the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor, and it's the future of the region. If you get a chance and you can talk to those folks there, they'll be glad to talk to you about that concept and how that's going to play big into this region. Attended a number of budget meetings so far, thanks to Mr. Tucker there, and Kim Vanderhyde and Garrett. Thank you all, and Mr. Shorter for pulling those things together. They're very detailed. It's taken a lot of time to cipher through those, but well worth it, and we've got a number of those still ahead of us. Look forward to getting to that final date to where we can approve the budget. And also attended the Local Emergency Planning Committee meeting in Danville and the West Piedmont Planning District meeting. And I would like to echo what was just said about their troops. I, too, am a military vet, 30-plus years, spent a year in Vietnam, so I understand what those folks are going through. It's tough not only on the troops that are on the ground or in the air, but also the families at home. So make sure we keep those folks in our thoughts and prayers. We want this war to end quickly and get those folks back to their duty station where they belong. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Brown?
Yep, great meeting. Thanks everybody for what they're doing, and a lot of good things coming. And I feel like I say the same thing last month, but I mean it's an exciting time to be in Pittsylvania County, and it's my rookie year here. I'm learning every month, and a lot more to learn, but I'm excited about it and looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Ingram?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a rookie too, Mr. Brown. So, just want to make a point. I am not promoting solar. We made some arrangements and amendments to that, so we sort of rolled it back. I doubt very seriously if I'll ever vote for a new project, but I want to respect what we have in place and what's in the past. So having said that, we are truly a nation at war, and we've lost some airmen, so please remember them. And, as far as I'm concerned, if our troops get steak and lobster every night, that's okay with me. Out my way, speaking of steak and lobster, Reuben Moore, who was the founder of Reuben's, which was a spinoff of Wimpy's, he passed away 16 years ago, and I want to remember him and his family. A trooper, John Weinbrenner, one of our local state troopers, was honored as the Trooper of the Year, and that's for the entire nation. He was one of the 4 finalists, and he received that honor, so that's a great honor for John. We do have some exciting news and some good stuff coming, particularly at the Mega Park, which is in my district, and you'll hear more about that later on. I do encourage people to vote no to the redistricting efforts. That is not good. So anyway, just make sure you exercise your right to vote. 5 years ago, we lost Corporal Wayne Grubbs, who was with the sheriff's office. Some of you probably remember Grubby, but we lost him 5 years ago. And I'll close out by congratulating Sergeant Icoast, Investigator Sergeant, Investigator Gibson for doing such a fabulous job in saving that lady's life. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Mr. Dalton.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Ingram, you stole all my thunder.
I copied off a sheet when you won't look at it.
Now, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, all the citizens. Thanks to all the staff, all the work they do, and as Mr. Brown said, there's some good things going on, and I'm looking forward to it. And with that, everybody have a safe trip home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Mr. Whittle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank everybody for coming out and bless our troops, bless the president, whether you like him or not, bless him. He needs it. He needs everybody's support to keep this thing going. I know the gas is going up. He'll bring it down in a couple months, maybe, we hope. And let's thank the staff for everything they do for us, keep us going. Thank Mr. Shorter over there. He keeps me pretty straight once or twice a week. And Mr. Matt Evans over there, he does a great job. Thank you, Matt. And just thank everybody on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whittle. Let me just say, I will be brief. I want to thank all of my colleagues. You guys on this dais, you all do a wonderful job. You guys genuinely have the best interest of Pittsylvania County on your heart. And there are times that we don't always agree on every issue, but we at least walk out of the room. We respect one another as men. We respect each other's opinion, and that is what is important. And we move on to the next issue in trying to solve problems for Pittsylvania County. As I've made my rounds, there's a couple of dates I want people to kind of remember. On the 24th, yours truly, I will be giving a State of the County address to the county at large. It will be live streamed, so it's going to be 8 o'clock, Chatham High School. Please be there or tune in, if you will, because I think it's important that we communicate to the entire county at one time the direction that we're going in as a community. Also, keep in mind on the 25th, which is going to be that Wednesday at 5:30 to 7 at the community center, you're going to have the first town hall for our comp plan. So please be there if you have concerns or issues you may need to address. I want to express my gratitude to the staff that does a lot of heavy lifting for these guys up here, and you see everything running kind of smooth, where we're not the impetus or the genesis behind everything running smooth. It is the staff that does a lot of this research for us. There's never been a time that I've not asked for someone on staff to look up certain information for me to help us make great decisions that they've not come through. Our economic development team, what a heck of a team. I said it earlier in closed session, when they go to Richmond, it's kind of like David and Goliath. They walk in there, they're typically outgunned, outmatched, the whole 9 yards, but they walk out of the room with a win. And, so Matt and Katie does a heck of a job, along with Linda Green, our partners in the Danville community, Corey Boubet, and staff over there. So kudos, and listen, stay tuned. As everyone has said, there are good things on the horizon. And we're just looking for the day wherein, a rising tide will lift all boats. That is very, very true. Once we get that liquid in here, it's going to elevate a lot of livelihoods in the community, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Mr. Shorter, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. I'd just like to kind of piggyback on what's been said and publicly thank the wonderful staff that we have working for Pittsylvania County every day. And they do it without complaint, and they do it tirelessly, and sometimes any hour of the night, and on the weekends and holidays and whatever. And I also like to thank you all for serving this county and being so supportive of the staff that you are, and thank you again for your service.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a blessing to be part of the process. The future is bright, and I look forward to many good things.